are here today to support the people of Syria who are in a peaceful demonstration against the Assad regime in order to get
people dying there every day, so we really feel so sorry for them.
People and my friends who are protesting against human rights violations and
Protests against Syria's government are intensifying in the country's south, amid widespread anger over its decision to cut fuel subsidies when millions of people are already struggling to afford basic goods because of hyperinflation. A large banner showing President Bashar al-Assad hanging in one of the main squares in the city of Suwaida is seen being set on fire in one video shared on social media over the past week. "We want everyone to come out to the streets across Syria," says a man in another clip. "We are here against poverty and humiliation, calling for our rights. Everyone should be out protesting." Crowds have even been filmed calling for the fall of the president, with chants such as, "Long live Syria and down with Bashar al-Assad," echoing those of 2011 pro-democracy uprising that descended into civil war. Government-held Suwaida has witnessed protests against Mr. Assad over the past 12 years. But this is the first time that such slogans have been heard on its streets. His regime has long been careful in its dealings with the minority Druze sect whose followers make up most of the residents of the city and its surrounding province. It has tolerated dissent there to a larger degree than it would in other areas under its control. Some protesters have also been taking place in neighboring Daraa province, where the 2011 uprising began but which was retaken by the government 7 years later. Demands for change. Deteriorating living conditions have pushed many people to take to the streets in recent months. But the protests intensified last week, after the government announced the total lifting of subsidies on petrol and a partial lifting of subsidies on fuel oil. A worsening economic crisis, with a currency collapse fueling hyperinflation, has left almost 90% of the population living below the poverty line. But the sudden spike in fuel prices has made the situation even worse. Some public sector workers' monthly income is worth as little as $20, £15.80 at the black market exchange rate. That has left them unable to afford even essential food supplies for their families. Earlier in the month, a new group calling itself the 10th of August movement issued a statement calling for living conditions to be improved in Syria. Many of those behind the group are believed to be from Mr. Assad's minority Alawite sect, which has steadfastly supported him during the war. The statement demanded the government raise the monthly minimum wage so that it was worth at least $100, provide electricity for at least 20 hours a day, up from the current average of 3 in most areas, and issue new passports within a month, signaling the desire of many young people to leave the country. The statement also called for the release of political prisoners. In recent days, photos of people in various cities across Syria with letters making similar demands and expressing opposition to Mr. Assad's rule have posted on social media. Exiled opposition groups hope that these developments will lead to long-awaited changes, but the president's hold on power appears to be secure for now. Alawite anger. The criticism from his fellow Alawites will, however, be a cause for concern for Mr. Assad. Some are reported to have been arrested after they took to social media platforms to call on the president to act. Ahmed Ibrahim Ismail is one of them. He is from Jableh, a town in the northwestern coastal province of Latakia that is the heartland of the Alawites. Mr. Ismail publicly criticized the president following a TV interview 2 weeks ago. "I wished to hear something else from you. You are flying away from reality. I am very disappointed. I haven't anything from you to tackle my pain," he said. He went on to describe his deteriorating living conditions. A few days later, Mr. Ismail's daughter announced on her Facebook that he had been detained. Many similar stories have been circulating online. During the past 12 years of protests,